October, and welcome to Auntie Tay's YouTube channel. I am so excited to show you guys how to do this awesome tutorial on making your own little resin hair clips to use for different costumes you may have. If you want to use your own molds, check out the video posted last week and you can learn how to make your own silicone molds. But for now, we're making our own hair clips for our costumes. Let's get going. Hey everyone, it's Sam from the Auntie Tay team and you're watching The Sam Show. Let's go make some fun things. I want to start off by letting you guys know that I am wearing full PPE. That means respirator, gloves, apron, and I am doing it in a room separated from everything else while working with resin. I mixed my two parts together. I am using Counterculture DIY's medium viscosity artist resin. This is my favorite to use for molds. And I also want to let you guys know that I already have my little mixing cups, glitter, and little stir sticks already mapped out. I plan everything out before I actually start mixing my resin because you only have about 20-30 minutes tops once you mix your resin to get it poured into your molds before it's unworkable. And how I go about is once I have the two parts mixed together completely in my one big batch, I then pour resin into the small individual cups. From then I kind of let the bubbles rise to the top and I'll hit the little cups each with a torch. And then I will take glitter, put it in, mix it in, and let it sit for a minute to let the bubbles rise, and I'll torch it again before I start putting it into the molds. This just helps reduce micro bubbles. And all of these glitters are, of course, the amazing Auntie Tay glitter that you can find from It's Pretty Personal. And if you are a member, you will use your membership code and you can save 20 to 30% on It's Pretty Personal's website. So definitely go check it out and get your hand on these amazing glitters. So I actually poured some Mickey ears to begin with, and if you check out all of my October videos, I am wearing those resin ears that I made using blanks that were Auntie Tay membership files that I got from Things Katie Makes. She cut them out on her Glowforge for me, and then I molded them and made my own resin Mickey ears. So if you're wondering where that's from, that's what it is. But with the hair clips and the candy, I am doing that specifically this video to show you guys how I made these for my Vanellope Von Sweets from Wreck-It Ralph costume. And all of the candy shapes are also Auntie Tay membership files, and the amazing Stephanie from OG Mama Creates, formerly known as Craft Tay Stephanie, she cut them out for me on her Glowforge. And there's so many people in the Auntie Tay community that have the capabilities to do some things that I don't have the machines for. But if you just reach out to them, you can do business with them, and then I can do my thing, which is resin. And you can see I'm just pouring different colors into different shapes. I was trying to get a good variety of colors for what I was using. I really wanted to stick with pinks and blues and some more bright colors. I started getting a little dark with my colors and I started switching to light. So what I'm doing right now is I just sprayed misted ever so lightly with 91% isopropyl alcohol. You do not want to put excess heat into your silicone molds. It can fuse the resin to your mold. So once the resin is in the mold, I only recommend using isopropyl alcohol, and the higher the percentage the better, so I normally only use 91%. Some people will use heat guns, but this can just wear down your mold over time, any excess heat. You can torch or use a heat gun in your mixing cup before you pour the resin into your mold, but once the resin is in your silicone mold, the only way I recommend popping bubbles is if you're using like a toothpick or something to pop big bubbles, but for micro bubbles, just use isopropyl alcohol. And a lot of these hair clip candy shapes were really small, so you can see I poured way too much resin, and you're gonna want to scrape the excess off. If you leave all of that gooped up around it, it's gonna be really hard to clean it up later. If there's just small pieces, you can break them off at the end, but when it's really thick and globbed like that, you would have to use a Dremel and sand it out. So it's easier just to wipe it off with a mixing stick while it's still, liquidy. And now all my pieces are poured. I go in and spritz it one time with isopropyl alcohol, and then I let it sit for a minimum of 12 hours when it comes to molds. The longer you let them sit, the better. They'll just be pliable still. So if you're demolding them at 12 hours or 8 to 12 hours, I highly recommend still wearing gloves, and then you're going to want to let them set on a flat surface until they're fully cured. Resin stops being pliable around like 7 days unless it gets extremely hot, and then it'll get bendy again. And most resin takes 30 days to fully cure, but it's safer to be around after the first 24 or 48 hours. Just use precaution when working with resin and letting it fully cure. So once it's demolded, let it sit flat for 3 to 7 days. Depending on your temperature, humidity, all of that, that will kind of affect how pliable your resin is. The size of your project will also make a difference, and your thickness of your project will also make a big difference. But 3 to 7 days after I poured resin, that's normally when I start, working on the piece, sanding on the piece. So I went in with some super glue first, and it wasn't holding as much as I wanted. So I just went in with some good old hot glue to hot glue bobby pins onto all these little candy resin pieces, and it worked out perfectly, and it was simple as that. I just want to let you guys know I'm really disappointed in myself. I tried. I bought a wig, a Vanellope wig, and I was really excited. And then I forgot that I have a little baby head, and it does not fit. It doesn't fit my little baby head.
I mean, it fits me just fine.